Hey guys, welcome to the Bruce Williams channel. I'm glad you tuned in today. I am wearing the subject matter of today's video, which is the Rolex HULK, the green Submariner, green bezel, green sunray dial. I bought this 2 years ago on St. Patrick's Day of 2020, right before COVID really hit the United States and things shut down. I got, I think, the last example sold in the state of Utah. And again, I bought it on St. Patrick's Day, so I have St. Patrick's Day written on the warranty card. I have the old style warranty card, probably one of the last old style warranty cards, sold at my local authorized dealer back then. I mean, it was pretty recent after I bought this that they switched to the new warranty card. So, my name is on the warranty card. St. Patrick's Day is the date on the warranty card. I bought the Submariner, arguably the most recognized modern sports design from Rolex, done in their corporate color scheme, bought on the day that people wear green and celebrate St. Patrick's Day. So kind of a fitting purchase, and one that I had really looked forward to making going back years. And tell me if you guys can relate to this. But when you're relatively new in the hobby and you haven't spent more than, you haven't spent a lot on one watch yet. You've bought maybe $200 watches, $500 watches. Maybe you've splurged and got a $1,000 watch or a $1,500 watch, but you haven't spent, like $7,000 yet. That was when I was first aware of the HULK. I was still in the affordable phase. I had not really bought anything. I think the most expensive watch I'd purchased was about $1,800. And even then I was still a little nervous wearing that watch around. So that's where I was when I was first aware or became aware of the HULK. And I thought maybe one day I can get that watch because I think it's beautiful. I think it's really interesting. And I'd like to have it one day. And it's funny because, back 6-7 years ago, it was a watch that was kind of a hard sell at an authorized dealer. People wanted the black dial Submariner. People wanted the two-tone bluesy. They didn't want the sunray green color. Like, what are you going to wear that with? It's not a versatile piece. That's the argument. And so, I remember I had a friend that worked at an authorized dealer, and he said that they would regularly discount the HULK as late as 2017 because it just wasn't a hot seller, didn't have the demand. And he was helping someone one day, came into the store, classic watch enthusiast, talking a big talk, maybe not going to walk the talk. And he's like, well, if you had a HULK in the case, I'd buy that right here, right now. And my friend's like, well, you know what? We just got a shipment. I've got a HULK in the back. We haven't put it in the case yet. If you'd like it, I'd be happy to sell it to you. And the guy's like, oh, well, I can't come home with this watch. My wife would kill me. Let me think about it. Hey, let me go to lunch. I'll let you know. He's he's a talker, not a walker. And that just illustrates, the scene back then where it wasn't a hot model. And now you look at this watch and it's become stupid. I mean, one recently sold for $30,000. They're being listed for over $30,000 now. Is it a $30,000 watch in terms of intrinsic value, precious metal, complication? No. The entire value is coming from the fact that it's a collectible. It's seen as a commodity, not because there's anything intrinsically valuable about it. So it's kind of stupid where the value has been. I bought mine at retail back in 2020 with local tax. I spent just a hair over $10,000, and now, it's worth $30,000. And, I actually had several of you reach out and say, Bruce, I know you're a flipper. When you're ready to sell that, let me know. I will buy it from you. I've had so many people offer to buy this watch. Some come with very competitive offers like, hey, this is how much I'm willing to spend to buy this. And here's my problem. I would tell people, you know what? Thanks. I appreciate it. But talk to me once it hits 30,000. Well, it just hit 30. So now I got to tell people, hey, great. Thank you. Talk to me when it hits 40 because I don't want to sell this watch. For me, I look at this and it's not about owning a collectible. It's not about being in on a watch before it got popular. That's kind of silly, I think. No, it's just striking the perfect blend of elements that I really value as a watch enthusiast. So I look at this thing and it's the perfect size. And I'm drawn to sport pieces. I'm drawn to dive watches. I like the water resistance. I like the low light lume. I like the adjustability. I don't know. It just fits me well. It fits my lifestyle. So I like this. It's not too big. It's not too small. It's thin. It's elegant. It's trim. So there are times where I really forget that I'm wearing it. It's that comfortable until the light hits it and I see that green come to play and I go, oh, so beautiful. It strikes that balance or that blend of being accurate and reliable and comfortable and versatile, having the best bezel action in the business, having really good lume, having the adjustability of the glide lock, but all of that practicality paired with the dynamic visuals, how sharp it looks, that exciting factor you get when you look at your wrist, the gauge of the time, and you look at the beauty. This has that. So this is just the ultimate watch for me. I don't want to sell it. Maybe one day I will, maybe, but I don't want to. So it's value that I have not realized because I'm not planning on selling it. And I look forward to many more years of making memories with this, hiking with it, camping with it, taking it on vacation. Actually, the taking it on vacation, you got to exercise some judgment with that. If you're going to a touristy spot, maybe a spot of the globe where you're unfamiliar with, don't make yourself a target. Wearing something that's a hot commodity, leave it in the safe. Go take a Seiko or a Casio or something else that's fun. That's not going to make yourself a target. So I have traveled with this. I have, done quite a few things with this watch, but always within circles that I'm comfortable with. You have to be aware with that with this type of watch. And if you have a luxury watch, you need to ensure that luxury watch and just exercise some logic and judgment in that regard. Now let's talk about the value a little bit more. I know some of you don't like to talk about the value, but this, it's a $30,000 watch and that price is only going to continue to rise. It's worth more than the Starbucks or the Cermet, the replacement that's on the market. And will Rolex ever reintroduce a Sunray Green Submariner? Maybe. I think the only Sunray Green that they do now is on the Daytona, the full yellow gold Daytona. So it's not something that Rolex does very often. And I'm often asked, Bruce, are you ever uncomfortable wearing such a commodity on wrist? You have 30 grand-ish, 25 depending on condition or, what year you have, all of that comes into play. But let's say you have a $20,000 to $30,000 watch on your wrist. Are you ever weirded out by that? You could go buy a car for that and you're wearing it on your wrist. What's going on? And I can totally understand that line of thinking because I was there at one point years ago, back when I, spent $500 on a watch and I rarely spent more than $1,000. I was even uncomfortable wearing my first $2,000 watch for a time. That part of you, that logical part of you, before you're a crazy watch enthusiast, before, you fall down the slippery slope and you're still relatively sane, part of you goes, hey, sell that watch, sell that stupid expensive watch, buy something you like that's cheaper and pocket the rest. I get that, but here's the problem, guys. The longer you're in the hobby and the more desensitized you come to price and the more your discretionary income raises, over the years with your normal job and maybe your side hustle, whatever it is, the more you become used to it. And then you go, yeah, I like wearing my $3,000 watch. Yes, I love wearing my $5,000, my $10,000. Hey, I just bought my first $20,000 watch. And you start going up and you get the enjoyment from the watch and you're not thinking about the monetary value associated with the watch, if that makes sense. And so I think it's relative for everyone. Everyone has to find a comfort zone. I know guys that wear precious metal Patek Philippe watches and Audemars Piguet, and they wear Lange and they wear Daytonas and turquoise dialed OP41s. They're walking around with 40, 50 grand on wrist and they do that regularly. You just got to find your comfort zone. And I think the longer you're in the hobby and the more experience you have and the more your discretionary income raises, the more you really don't think about the value and you just enjoy wearing the watch. And so you've got to answer that for yourself. But for me, no. And also the other question, what do I wear this with? Surprisingly, almost everything. You look at this and what I'm wearing. I've got a black t-shirt. I've got gray jeans on, and normally I'm wearing shorts, a t-shirt. I'm pretty casual, so it works. And there's not a lot that this clashes with. I mean, it even looks good. Almost anything. Like, there are very few things where I go, that kind of clashes. Very, very few. So overall, it's been an awesome experience with this watch over the past 2 years. I look forward to years more with this piece, enjoying it. It's accurate, it's reliable. And yes, I've kind of scratched it up a little bit. It's held up pretty well. The clasp looks good. There are some hairline wear marks and scratches in the bracelet. I did put kind of a nasty little scratch in the side of the case. And the only thing that bugged me about that was the fact that I didn't know how I did it. I'm careful with my pieces. I'm not reckless. I don't put them in my pocket with a bunch of rocks and walk around. I had no idea how I scratched it. And the fact that I didn't know, that's what bugged me, not the fact that it got scratched. So it's held up really well. It's beautiful. It's fun to wear. It's the ideal watch for me. My friend Jeff of the Jeff McMahon channel considers this my signature watch because he associates it with me because he's seen me wear it. And it's been in videos over the past couple years. So really enjoying it. Don't at me. Don't ask me when I'm going to sell it. I'm not going to sell it. Maybe come talk to me again when it hits $40,000 or $50,000. As silly as that sounds. Thank you for watching today, guys. I appreciate it. I hope you have an awesome day, and see you next time.